Hello, my friends. Welcome to another episode of Deep True Crime, where we explore the ongoing cases and past cases as well, where we dive deep into what has happened in this case. What has happened to the victim? And always looking to get justice for the victim and sharing the good name of the victim. To me, that's also getting justice. If that sounds like something you like to follow, make sure you hit that subscribe button, click on that like button, and click on that notification bell. That way you get notified whenever I go live or I upload content. And so we continue the Gabby Petito case. As we know, they went on a long cross-country trip for only one of them, Brian Laundrie, to return on September 1st, earlier than expected, in Gabby Petito's van without Gabby Petito. And so there's been a massive manhunt going on for the longest time. Well, it looks like that ends today. That's right, folks. So first thing in the morning, it was reported that human remains were found along with Brian Laundrie's backpack and his notebook. I wonder what's in that notebook. And so we've been following along with that all day. And then there was a press conference. There was a press conference from one of the agents, one of the guys with the FBI, thanking everyone, talking about how we, as we close out this case, talking about how thanking the Northport police for everything they've done, thanking that, everyone for everything they've done. And as they close out this case, and they said, there's been a manhunt, everyone's been looking for Brian Laundrie. Then he goes on to say, well, today they found some remains along with a backpack and along with a notebook. And so, according to him, this particular area had already been searched, but they couldn't get too far because there was a lot of water, and now the water had passed. And so they talked about that. They talked about that as well today. And so human remains found in Florida Nature Park. And so first thing in the morning, the coroner was called there. After it was, that's what we were getting, the bits and pieces that were coming out as the reports were coming out, right? And so human remains were found in the Florida Nature Park. And this is where the police and FBI, they had been hunting for Brian Laundrie all along. And so they didn't so much say this is confirmation it is Brian Laundrie. They basically just said human remains. We've been looking for Brian Laundrie as we close this case. So he said there's going to be... Now, remember, there's been multiple bodies found. Multiple people who had been missing found in this search for Brian Laundrie, even when they were searching for Gabby Petito. So they had been looking for a while now, right? They had been searching all along. And so Brian Laundrie's items were found, which was his backpack and his notebook. And so this is, they have been looking for Brian Laundrie for a month now. They have literally been looking for Brian Laundrie for a month. And it's like, when are we going to find this guy? Are we even going to find him alive? Well, it doesn't look like we're going to find him alive. Does not look like we're finding this guy alive. So they have definitely shared that human remains right next to the backpack. So it looks like maybe, my guess is they didn't search well enough when they were supposed to. They didn't search well enough when they were supposed to, over the last month. Now, granted, if there's water and you're searching everywhere, maybe they're just searching for, I I don't know, just him alive, maybe. Why not look under the water? And then you had the cadaver dogs, right? They had cadaver dogs in this search. How come the cadaver dogs didn't smell them a little earlier? You know, or smell a dead body earlier, or you know, some kind of way to find it. But you know, I'm just an armchair detective, right? I just love to follow this stuff and see how they come to the conclusion, how they come to the end. Like, I don't like movies that don't have a good ending or some resolution at the end. Anyone dying is definitely never a good thing, you know, but when you think about all the bodies that were found in the process, you know, people are looking for these people, right? They have loved ones who have been like, where's my child? Where's my aunt? Where's my father, mother, the whole 9 yards? And right now there's another lady missing and the husband's been arrested. And it's like, this stuff is so sad that it occurs. That's the whole purpose of the channel. I want to keep you updated on things you want to be alert for. And so that's exactly why I do this. And so I want to help keep you on top of these things. And so they've been looking for this guy for a long time, really to question him in the death of Gabby Petito. He was only a wanted man for fraudulent activities on her debit Capital One card using her PIN. And so Laundrie apparently, you know, disappeared after going hiking in this environmental park, Maya Kahachi. So now we don't even know how. The autopsy will tell us how long he's been dead. We'll have more answers. Those are the little bits and pieces of updates. So slowly we'll be, you know, now that we know what has happened, now we're going to continue to have little bits and pieces of more information. But so the Tampa police today, the FBI Tampa field office, said at the press conference, earlier today, investigators found what appears to be human remains along with personal items such as a backpack and notebook belonging to Brian Laundrie. Found human remains, found personal items such as backpack and notebook. Well, I don't know who else that could possibly be. There's no manhunt anymore. And so this was one of the items that was at the scene. I'm not too sure what it is, but that is one of the items. And there was also a tent found at the scene. Yeah, there was a tent found at the scene. And, you know, up until recently, this was all underwater, so they did not get a good search of it. I found it interesting that the McPherson guy, he tried to really talk up Northport because, you know, they're going to take a lot of heat for this. Northport police and everyone who was supposed to be doing their searching for this guy, they didn't search this part of it. And so you think about all these sightings along the Appalachian Trail. He was never at the Appalachian Trail. You know? So it's really hard to really take a lot of the. That's why you got to take it with a grain of salt, especially when you're listening to the internet. You got people that will do anything for some views. And so, you know, up until now, he was just a person of interest. This is a police tent that was set up in a location inside the Florida Nature Reserve. Human remains found right here at the Miyakahachi Creek, right? So this is where that part is. And then Northport, this is where Brian Laundrie's family lived. So they most likely drove somewhere along this line, you know, to get here. I don't think that you go all the way down there, right? So that looks like pretty much local. Well, what did they say? 15 miles from there or something like that? So he never really left there if he went there. I mean, maybe the Laundrie family were kind of telling the truth that he went to this place, right? And so Now they have that part. This here, this is where an area was roped off after human remains were found. So it had to be right around that area that the human remains were found. So this was also the part that was covered in water. Where that it was previously covered in water, they couldn't really follow that trail through there because it was covered in water. Here goes another tent here. This is part of the park where the backpack and notebook were found. So this part was just where the FBI set their tents up. My guess is underneath there is where the backpack and notebook were found. And this was earlier in the day. If you were on my video earlier, the one right before this, at the very beginning, we talked about this particular video here. And I shared when they were looking in something. Looked like it might be the backpack that they were looking in to confirm that it was his. And so Chris and Roberta, they went there this morning to search for Brian. And they were informed last night that Brian's parents' intentions, and they met Chris and Roberta there this morning. I find that timing pretty odd too. They both go there this morning, and maybe they stopped looking over there. Why did they? I don't know. More will continue to come out on this whole case. More will continue to come out. Obviously, we'll cover it even a little bit less now that we know. But, you know, a lot of what's led up to this. They even said we're going to be here for the next few weeks, you know, really hitting this hard. The next couple weeks really hitting this hard and searching this area. And so they've been searching this thing for a while. This is where the cadaver dogs were you know, deployed on the scene to go do their sniffing and searching. And so that's, from what it looks like, my friends, the story has ended with him being found dead. And it's interesting that this park was reopened just yesterday. Like, it's been closed off this whole time for the search, and then the day after it's finally open, the body's found. That's why I just, you know, sometimes coincidences could be just weird. They could be just, the timing could be so odd in the matter. You know, the timing on the park opening it up, parents going to check it out, body found. But again, if this was previously underwater, that would make sense why it would come up. And so, we'll see what happens there. We'll see what happens there. But it looks like at 8:45 a.m., the Laundries left the park and appeared emotional when they were confronted by protesters before they headed back home. So they probably already knew it was Brian. There's no doubt in my mind that's Brian. I mean, the way it's all adding up, that when you think about all the other bodies that were found or missing and then found, you know, right away you knew whether that was Gabby or it was, you know, not Gabby. Brian, not Brian, right? A body was found in North Carolina, and was it Brian? No, found out right away. But this was different. This one even came with a press conference. And so, my friends, there you have it. It looks like the saga is starting to come to an end. It looks like there will not be justice for Gabby. But if you were hoping that he would end up dead, that's your justice for Gabby, right? My justice was he would be brought to justice. And it doesn't look like he's going to be brought to justice. More will come out. I'll definitely continue the updates as they roll out, as the story dies out. Because it's definitely, now that we got it to an end, one of the most sensational stories ever. Rest in peace, Gabby Petito. Rest in peace. And so it looks like there won't be any good, but finding these bodies, that were missing all along, that's, they could go home to their family. And so I'm Manny Rodriguez. Thank you for joining me in Deep True Crime. where we explore the ongoing and past cases and dive deep into what happened to our victims. I'm signing out. I look forward to serving you again, and we'll talk to you soon.